Hey yo, it's Guido. It is time for a Coffee Talk supplemental. I've got my coffee. What day is it? It's Hump Day. Mike. What day is it? Hump Day. Casual coffee drinking has been had. I'm going to try to make this one really loud because I keep getting complaints about the loudness. I'm a little bit far away. Maybe I'll slide the mic forward here. All right, here we go. A real YouTuber would have had that all prepared much before. We'll see what happens. But the reason I'm doing this is I have three pretty big announcements, actually. Pretty cool things coming up. Or let's say one potential cool thing, one most likely cool thing, and one I'm pretty sure cool thing. All right. So let's get started, all right? Three things. Every good talk has 3 points with a introduction, the main body, and a conclusion. So we are done with the introduction, and now we're going to move on to the main body. And what is the main body? Well, here is the first interesting thing. As soon as I find what to click on here. Oh my gosh, this is hard. Oh, here we go. All right, so first thing on Harkonnen's blog. That's him right there. There's Harkonnen. Say hello to Harkonnen. Go to his blog. I don't know if you can like a blog. Join it? I'm not sure how that works. Go view it. Give him views. All right? He's one of the CCs. Anywho, super test HP boost for tier 1 to tier 6. What? Check that out. HP progression. They want to even that thing out. Okay, what does that mean? It means that relative to the amount of time a tank lives, i.e. from DPG of the tanks to the hit pool of the tanks, the lower tiers are worse off than the higher tiers, meaning that higher tiers last longer. You might say, well, duh, they have more hit points, but they've also got larger alpha and more DPM. The difference between those two is much worse down at the lower tiers, to where you last a lot less longer. you don't last, all right? You get killed. And it is connected tangentially a little bit to something I talk about a lot, which is high tier and end tier content do not necessarily have to be synonymous in World of Tanks. There is no reason why playing the lower tiers can't also have some end tier content. The problem with that is the seal clubbing thing and the new player experience and the onboarding, which is important to understand. But part of that also is the lower tiers just die really quick. So I think a lot of people avoid that to some extent. There is the big part about seal clubbing and all that. I got that. Plus the tanks are not as accurate and there's some other things going on. But I think one of the bigger things really, for it being end tier, is that it plays a lot differently. It's just you get schwacked so much faster. So this is a really interesting thing. Now remember at the beginning, in the introduction, I said a maybe thing. This is a super test, all right? So it's an idea. And maybe I need to stop talking. Usually I say something like, I don't worry too much about super tests and I don't talk about it too much, but it's been creeping into what I do. So maybe I should really kind of chuck that out the window, because I do talk about super tests a lot more than I used to as I get more into the CC thing and talking about the game. So we'll just throw that out. Maybe it'll be the last time you hear it. I don't know. Who knows? I might say it again. You never know. But back to the subject at hand without the tangent. This could be a really interesting, good thing for the lower tiers. And maybe it turns some of the lower tiers, or it gives us some more capability for better players to get down there and enjoy the lower tiers, because the tanks are cool. Really, where are all the real kind of historical tanks front loaded? They're down at the lower tiers. A lot of the historical tanks go up to about tier 6 or 7, and then we start getting off into kind of the crazy napkin tanks and prototypes, and then the few real tanks that were built in the 50s and 60s. But most of it is occupied by, I won't say made up, some of them are made up, but a lot of them are blueprint tanks, or maybe one prototype or a couple were made, that kind of thing. Down low is really where the historical, as far as the interest in historical tanks lives, especially in tier like 4 to 6, right in there. And that's the end of the upgrade up at about tier 6, from tier 1 to tier 6. So I actually think this is probably a good thing. The one negative I will have against it is it will make some of those tiers feel a little bit more like your standard FPS, where you can pew, pew, pew and take a million hits and never die. Now that's over-exaggerating, because you're not going to take a million hits. There was a chart that showed the average lifespan in seconds if they went ahead with the proposed changes, and it's more significant at the lower tiers, and then as you can see by the graph right there, it tails off as it gets up towards tier 6. I think this is an interesting and a good idea. And what I hope the offshoot of this is in the near future is that there's more end tier stuff for lower tiers. Tournaments for tier 5, tournaments for tier 4, where the competitive players actually get in there and start playing it. So we'll see what happens with that. But I thought that was an interesting thing to bring up. All right, that was number 1, right? We had 3 main points. What is number 2? All right, number two is awesome. Here we go. Check this out. We have the DDay challenge. All right, caveat up front, all right? Bottom line up front, the old bluff right there. This is on the EU portal. I have not found it on our portal. I don't know if there's a reason for that other than it's just not on, or maybe there's a timing thing. We are cleared to talk about it because there it is on EU, but it is a DDay, the DDay challenge, all right? It is a marathon for a tier 5 premium tank. And so what does that mean if we're going to do a marathon for a tier 5? I think that's great because it allows them to make the marathon a little bit easier, right? And that opens it up to availability to a lot more of the casual players, and now they can get themselves a premium through a marathon, through a relatively easy marathon. Just takes you playing all the different missions that it has, and we'll go into those in just a minute. But you're going to get, you might say, all right, well, what is this tier 5? Well, I'll tell you. It is the M10 RBFM Sirocco. All right, it's got a style, the Sirocco style. And my understanding, I think, is that the tank itself is just a plain Jane M10 RBFM, which is a new premium French TD based off the M10, go figure, historical tank. The Sirocco style is a 3D style that you can get if you do all the missions, and we'll get into that in just a minute on how exactly that works. But it is the actual historical tank, and I think it's the French, this was great, when listen to the video, I won't make you listen to it, but it was the French Navy Armored Infantry. It's like, the what? The French Navy Armored Infantry. I assume that's the equivalent of their Marines. Well, I mean, so it makes sense, but it's kind of a funny term if you think about it. Anywho, this is coming up, and it starts on the 24th of May. I should point there. Where is it? See, this always messes me up. Oh, there it is. On the 24th of May and goes to, I believe, 7 June. Yeah, there it is. 7 June right there. All right, so let's talk about what you have to do, because I mentioned it was fairly easy, and it really actually is. And they've kind of thought of several things here, which I greatly appreciate from Wargaming, because it's not necessarily something they always do. So let's look at this. There it is, D-Day. So it's an event. Remember, it's the left button over here, D-Day event. Here's the missions, and you will notice right away that they're actually pretty darn easy, all right? But there's a couple interesting things to note on them. So, number 1, there's 2 different ways to do it, much like the missions or marathons before. But the main direction and auxiliary direction, the main direction requires you, and it's easier, all right? It's the easier way to do it, but it requires, you got to hover over this little I for information, all right? Got to get the information. Hover over I, and you'll notice that there's a list of tanks. And they are the tier 4 to 7 historical vehicles, which will allow you to do the easier missions. So you've got to have one of those guys. And more than likely, everyone who plays this game has one of these things, because they're kind of the standard tanks. I mean, look at it. The Hellcat. There's tanks for arty players. You got the M12, Tui, so no problem there. The Tiger, the Panther, the J Panther, the Hummel, the JPZ-4, the Grillet, the Stug 3G, the Stug 4. I mean, the list goes on, right? Should I just say them all? Even the Wolverine and the Hellcat. I already said the Hellcat, didn't I? The UK has their tanks as well. Some of these, I believe, are premiums. Are they premiums? Are there any premiums in there? Hold the phone. I don't know. The Pudel. There you go. There's one premium. I think Cromwell B. There's a premium. So Cromwell or Cromwell B. Okay. So that allows you to do it the easy way. The easy way. What does the easy way mean? Well, in this case, fight one battle. And then the hard way is fight one bet. Okay. Well, they're the same at the first one. Okay. Tier 7 or higher. This is important. If you don't have one of those historical ones, then you're tier 7 or higher. I'm a little bit disappointed in that. I don't think it's actually a problem except for a select few people who are brand new and don't have one of those tanks. That's a bit of a bummer and aren't quite to tier 7. I would have really liked to have seen this be tier 4 and higher or something so that it is completely accessible by brand new players. allowing a brand new player complete accessibility to a marathon and a nice short one where they can kind of get a sense of accomplishment and figure out how marathons work, that's good onboarding. So I'm a little bit fuzzy on the tier 7 thing, folks, but there it is. You need tier 7 or higher. It does change, and you get goodies, so you get a little ready for landing badge and some. These are not bad. These are large kits. We're not messing around with small kits here, folks. Plus 10% to combat experience and plus 50% to crew experience is a bonus that will now last on your client, from what I'm reading, until June 9th. I think it's plus 2 days or 3 days. And it's cumulative. So each one of these, it gets a little bit better, right? So we go to number 2. Now we're at plus 11. So where were we? We're at plus 10. Get it? Kind of like the Christmas thing. The Christmas bonuses, as you collected things, as you go through these missions, you're getting bonus. I like that idea. What a great idea. That's a fantastic idea. Well done on that, Wargaming. I give you 2 thumbs up on that bad boy right there. Plus 11, plus 55, you get the picture. It gets better as you go. So for the second day, the easy one is cause damage. I told you these are easy, right? Play 1 battle on the first day. On the second day, cause damage. And if you're doing the tier 7 thing, cause damage to 2. I mean, if you're grinding 7s and higher and you don't want to play the historical ones, you're still going to get through this thing in a breeze. You really are. Now, the other thing to note on this, know how it says day 1, day 2, up to day 14. That means there's going to be 1 opened up each day. But the good news is, from what I'm reading, is it looks like if you didn't play till day 7, you can do all of the missions. And I believe what it does is it just starts you off at whatever mission is the lowest one and starts moving you up through them. Which means if I started on day 7, I could do 7 missions until day 7, then I got to wait for day 8 to be unlocked. That's my understanding, all right? Just from a cursory look at it, and that's actually pretty cool. So we go to the 3rd day, and we're talking about top 10 1 time. Top 10 2 times, all right? You get the picture. Let's get to the hard ones. What are the real, you're thinking, okay, Guido, gets really hard at the end, right? All right, so be among the top 10 players 7 times. I mean, that's like one of the early missions on the big tier 8 marathon. So this is actually a really easy mission. You will note you get the tank at day 10, right? There's the tank, there's a slot. You get the style that I talked about earlier on day 14. Additionally, they're going to give you some information. You can click on that and it'll talk about DDay and historical stuff. That's a nice little touch. I like that kind of stuff. You can just check out neat little facts as you go through right there. Doesn't hurt anyone to have it. And you'll notice that as you get up to here to day 14, plus 250% on bonus and plus 50% on combat experience. And because that's the 14th day, and I don't remember if it was 2 or 3, but it's a couple days after the event, you'll end up getting that for a couple more days. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. I think that's everything on the mission. All right, third thing. I'm going to be a little bit evasive on this. Domo has mentioned, and this is where I'm getting this. Domo has mentioned to people on the whatever it's called. What is it called? Oh my gosh, I can't remember. Discord server. The Watt NA Discord server. He has said, "Hey folks, save your gold and silver for the next couple days." And I'm just gonna leave it at that. All right. So we got 3 great events. We've got the not events, but 3 great things. We got the hit point bonus coming up potentially. We've got the marathon. Again, it's on the EU portal. We're pretty sure it's happening in NA. You should know by tomorrow or the next day. Starts on the 24th. And then this third thing is in the next few days. All right. So that's all I can tell you, but what I am telling you is save your silver and your gold. Don't go purchasing stuff right for the moment. Just give it a couple days. If you got that purchase right on your mind, just cool your heels and think about it for a little bit. Grab your coffee and relax. Just take a sip and sit back and watch Guido's video. And what I'm telling you, it's cool. All right, this thing is really cool. You're gonna like it. Well, let's face it. This is the World of Tanks community. Someone's gonna hate it. Okay, we're just gonna be straight up. Someone's just gonna hate the fool out of it. Okay. And it's true. All I'm doing is stating facts. Someone is gonna hate the fool out of what is actually gonna be pretty cool. And like I said, that's all I'm gonna say about it. That's the end of the supplemental coffee talk. I'm about halfway through my coffee. I have to go take my daughter's truck down to get the oil changed. And then I'm going to drop it off and I'm going to run back. So if you don't see me again, I've died of heat exhaustion somewhere along the way. So hopefully that doesn't happen. It is hot down here in Florida, and it's getting hotter with no trees. Holy cow. That's it. So this is the conclusion. Remember, intro, body, 3 main points. In conclusion, hit points are coming. Like winter's coming, got it? Marathon is coming. Something cool is coming. All right? Now remember, none of these have actually been officially reported on the NA server, so the fact of the matter is all 3 could go away in a poof tomorrow. So I don't want to be the guy that's yelled at because I said something was happening and it wasn't. We have to have expectation management, folks. We can always have the rug pulled out from under us because that's how it rolls, not because they're necessarily just mean, but stuff happens. All right, that's all I got, guys. Have a good rest of Hump Day. Enjoy your Thursday. Remember, Thursday is practice Friday. All right, and I'm gonna have a good practice Friday because Friday I have off. I'm gonna stream. I'll be streaming Friday. I'll probably be streaming tonight, maybe, and potentially Thursday. But Thursday's pub night. That's why I bring this up, because pub night is nice as a practice Friday when I don't have to work on Friday. All right, guys. Later. We will see you. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the support of the channel. See ya.